they probably would have been okay with it, even liked it, appreciated that aspect of the program. So we need to keep in mind that we're reaching new customers and that we may have to educate them. And especially as CSA grows, we need to educate them even more than before. Okay, so what is a clear, outlined member agreement? Here's what I think it should include at a minimum. So dates. When do you expect that the product will be delivered and for how many weeks? What are your growing practices? What sorts of products can be expected? Maybe even perhaps what products cannot be expected, maybe because you don't like to grow those things. Now, we get into the really important stuff here at the bottom. All pickup responsibilities and the consequences of failing to pick up a share. If the share will be donated after a certain amount of time or made available to other customers, that's something you should definitely spell out. Of course, what, when, where, and how to pay. And really importantly, what is shared risk and reward? And what does that mean for your farm? That's a really important one going forward. If it means that customers might receive nothing, that's a good thing to share. It's a good thing to get very clear with your customers. And I don't think this is something you need to be afraid of. We are selling a closer relationship with where food comes from. And that's nothing to be shy about. That's our selling point. So being upfront about that is not necessarily a bad thing. If you do buy in other farms' products, I think that's also a very important thing to share with customers. It helps them really understand, it's very hard to grow 50 different kinds of vegetables and to grow them all well. It's very difficult to have enough bacon to satisfy the tremendous bacon market out there. So when you buy in, if you tell them about when you do buy in products, that only increases it helps them set more accurate expectations. And of course, if this is the way it is, this will protect you if you do have to end up in small claims court, if you actually have a written agreement that shared risk was part of your deal. Of course, if shared reward is part of your deal too, we need to be clear about that. Unfortunately, I have heard all too often about CSA members who think that this arrangement is a scam. And a lot of times what's happening is they're going to the farmer's market and they're seeing their CSA farm with far more glorious and abundant products at the farmer's market than they're getting in the CSA share. Personally, I don't think this is necessarily a problem on its face. It's just an issue of communication. You really do have good reasons for why this is happening. You need diverse revenue streams. You need to maintain your relationships with other buyers. And when it comes to your abundant supply of kale, customers really don't want 10 bunches per week, so it's not going to help you to share that kind of reward. If we explain these things to members, I think they'll understand. If your concern is flexibility, like you don't want to commit to shared reward because, well, who knows what kind of a season you'll have, you can really just write that in. You can write whatever you want into your agreement. It's really just about setting expectations and then fulfilling them, and of course the legal enforcement that we need if something does go wrong and you need to protect yourself in a court.